I'm just now entering the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. I'm really excited and to be honest, a little bit afraid. This has been my kind of question mark on the trail, at least on the southern half of the trail. This is a pretty high set of mountains that can turn really bitterly cold and ice over and a little bit unpredictably. But so far the weather forecast is really nice and I'm excited about that, but I'm also prepared. Today is going to be a day of really long and hard climbs. You climb today onto the ridge line, and then the next 75 miles or so is all on the ridge line. So some ups and downs, but still mostly you stay up high. The Smoky Mountain National Park is a little interesting in that you have to have a permit, which I've got online and printed out and we'll put in the little box when I go past the sign, the visitor center, and where you turn it in. And then you have to give the other half of it at the end so they know you're out of the park. And there are shelters all along the trail that you're required to camp in a shelter if there's room. If not, you can put your tent outside the shelter, but people can make reservations and you get booted out of a shelter if somebody has reservations. And thru hikers don't get to make reservations, which is okay. This time of the year, I don't expect that it's going to be a problem. I'll show you some of the shelters and some of the hiking along the way. Not a lot of fanfare, just a metal box with some green letters on it that says, AAT thru hikers deposit your permits here. I will deposit my permit. It's a rather overcast Wednesday. Temperature's dropping. It's been going down a little bit all day long. Supposed to get down to 24 tonight. Not really looking forward to that. This is the trail, but what I want you to also notice is that almost all day today, the trail has been the creek as well. It rained somewhere between 2 and 3 inches last night, and so the mountains are covered in water, and maybe ice tomorrow. We'll see. Second night in Smoky Mountains. Got really cold last night, way below freezing. Give you an example. This is the trail and steps going up the trail. You can see the icicles, the ice pool and hanging over. There were about 5 guys in the shelter last night, and nobody made a fire, which I wish they had, but I got in too late and I was already too cold. Guess I shouldn't complain about somebody else not doing what I was not willing to do. But okay, didn't get out of the shelter till about 9 this morning. I couldn't quite bring myself to get out of my warm sleeping bag. You see the ice in the steps. But by now, I'm on the trail, making some miles. Okay, we're going to start this part with a different spin. These gentlemen down there, I spent last night in the shelter with. in that super cold. I have to tell you, this morning when I woke up, my shoes were frozen. They weren't on my feet, and from all the water that I'd walked through, there was plenty of water in them, so they were frozen. And I knocked, my socks were frozen as well. My socks were so solidly frozen that I knocked them on the deck of the shelter where I was staying, and everybody thought I was knocking my shoes, and it was really my socks. Now, you're saying, what does this have to do with this view that I'm seeing? This is atop Clingmans Dome. It is the highest point in the U.S. east of the Mississippi. It's a really cool milestone for me because it means I've got 200 miles left of the Appalachian Trail. And we talk about high points in our lives, and this is both symbolically and really a high point. And to be up here and see all the way around the mountains, and it's almost, well, literally as far as you can see. We're back to this view, and if you look straight out through those mountains, that's where the Appalachian Trail goes, as far as you can see, as far as the camera will zoom, I guess. That's the Appalachian Trail. That's where I've been so far. Standing on top of Rocky Top Mountain. Very windy, but beautiful day, clear as you can see the distances. Wow. Famous song about Rocky Top, Tennessee. I'm standing on top of Rocky Top, Tennessee. Looks like this. Now you know why they call it Rocky Top. Seems like a week of all the different kinds of weather. Today it's rain. Again, it's not super cold, but it is pretty wet. Hopefully it's supposed to end about noon. Got to the top of another hill called Shuck Stack, and I guess there's the stack. Not sure what this was, but there's also a big old tall fire tower. This is one I'm not going to climb because you can imagine the view from the top of it wouldn't be very good. So we find ourselves at another one of these boxes. No, this isn't an editing mistake where I put the first part at the back. This is actually the other end of the Smokies, and I've got to put my permit, the other half of it anyway, and this one's really dang soggy, into the box. Hope they don't mind soggy permits. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. If I can get it to go in there. Boy, I'm super happy to be done with the Smokies. They're beautiful, but the weather was not in my favor. I really don't mean to complain. It could have been a whole lot worse. I didn't have to deal with ice or at least huge sheets of ice or snow. I didn't need spikes for my shoes. One night my shoes did freeze, but I managed to get them on and hiked in them, and my feet never got super cold. My hands were cold a little bit, but my good gloves worked. And now I'm stepping out of the Smokies and just got less than 200 miles to go. Pretty excited.